Hello everyone! Today we are talking Twilight. I first read Twilight when I was 15 years old. It's been a little bit since those days. I'll admit it, I was a Twihard. There's just something so special and unique about Edward and Bella's story that sucked me in. I was in love. I was a shipper before shippers were even a word that I knew. When I first read Twilight, I had never had a boyfriend. I was in high school, I was living at home, I had no relationship experience. I was just a little naive little duckling. Basically no world experience whatsoever. So I thought it would be interesting to reread Twilight now that I am older. How has it been 10 years since Twilight came out? I can't even fathom that. And I thought it'd be really interesting to kind of compare reading Twilight as a 15-year-old to reading it as a 25-year-old. Wow. That's a lot of time and a lot of life experience between these two, so yeah. So I did it. I read and finished Twilight. First and foremost, I may be a little biased because Twilight will always have a special place in my heart. When I started reading this, it was a little foreign and weird to me because the first time I read it, I very much so related to Bella and her experiences and going to school and just like everything she was going through. This time I felt more like an observer. I wasn't inserting myself in the story at all. I was just watching it happen and like observing a high schooler. Instead of relating to it, I observed it. During the pivotal moments in this book, all I could imagine was Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. So like the time Bella gets hit by a van, I only saw that scene. When they're playing baseball, I only saw the movie. When James came to kill Bella, I only saw the movie. These scenes and moments are so integrated into my brain as Rob and Kristen that I didn't even have a chance to think of my own characters. But there were a lot of scenes that the movie didn't recreate that were kind of just like my own. And it was really fun because during those moments I did see the Edward and Bella that I created so long ago. Something that really surprised me while reading Twilight is how sarcastic and angsty Bella is. I feel like Kristen plays her as a more like timid and shy Bella, but like real Bella is kind of rude to her friends and she is sarcastic, and I don't think Kristen really showed too much sarcasm. I also forgot how like smirky and smiley Edward was in the beginning. Like he's actually flirting with her and they're bantering and enjoying each other and he's smiling and laughing. I feel like we didn't see much of those like really like small happy moments in the movie because I mean obviously there wasn't enough time. I just forgot that. I always see Edward as like this really serious, intense, like Robert Pattinson big moment Edward, whereas like small moment Edward in the book, the guy's kind of funny. Like he's happy. I know he wants to kill Bella, but he's happy joking about it. I just thought that was interesting because that's something I forgot over the 10 years that Twilight has been in my life. Something I also really enjoyed about rereading Twilight is that all the chapters are named. Like chapter 11, Complications. I feel like I haven't seen that in a really long time. Most books, the chapters are just chapter 1, chapter 37. These have names and I kind of missed that because it shows you a glimpse of what you're gonna see. I don't know, I thought it was cool. Another aspect that I enjoyed about rereading Twilight is I actually knew all the places she was talking about in Phoenix. When Bella goes to meet James in Phoenix at Sky Harbor Airport, the first time I read this, I had no experience with Phoenix whatsoever, so I didn't know. But since then, I lived in Phoenix for 6 years, so like the I-10 and Scottsdale and Sky Harbor Airport, I knew all of them, and it was actually really fun to like relate to that because the first time I was just like, okay, these are roads, whatever, I don't care. But this time I was like, hey, I know exactly what Bella's talking about. That's actually really exciting. And of course, there were some problematic situations with Bella and Edward's relationship. So when I was 15, I would say that I kind of looked up to Edward and Bella, and it wasn't so much so that I like based my real relationships on that or like dreamed of having that, but it was definitely something that was like looked up to. And I think that's incredibly dangerous because going back and reading this, it's actually really controlling and creepy, and just like his behavior is like really not something you should aspire to. I feel like a lot of what he does is excused because he is a vampire and he does want to kill her and suck her blood. But like in real life, it's not excused, and if a guy does treat you this way, it's not healthy. A guy should not be watching you sleep or controlling you or telling you what to wear. There was a scene where Edward was like, get dressed, because they had to go meet his family. And it was just like such a little thing, like, oh, get dressed. But no, it was like, get dressed. And I just can't imagine like having somewhere to be and my husband being like, get dressed. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It's not a laughing matter, and I'm only laughing because it's like such like a, it's a heavy topic, but also it's like, okay, this is a book about a vampire. We really shouldn't base our relationships on it. But also it's like, okay, well, young girls are reading this. Maybe we should tell them that this isn't healthy, like at all. At one point, Edward breaks into Bella's house with like their spare key. I really don't see how that's okay. And there were a lot of times that Bella was nervous or scared that she was gonna upset Edward. And just like in real life, you shouldn't have to like be afraid that your significant other is gonna get so mad at you for having an opinion or for doing something. And like I said before, I feel like it's all excused because he is a vampire and they're living in a world with werewolves, and like her safety really is a concern. So it's really not applicable to real life, but also like it is, because it's in our real life. It is something that we consume and something that we may base our relationships on. So it is problematic. I'm not going to say anything else because I know everything's been said, but yes, I did see where Edward was controlling and there were some like really bad relationship dynamics. Especially now that I have relationship experience, I definitely see the issues with this book and the issues people had with this book. When I first read it, I didn't see anything wrong with it, but this book's got some relationship problems. I didn't want to just like sweep that under the rug, but other than that, I did enjoy reading this book. I feel like it will always hold nostalgia for me, so like I said, I may be biased, but it was fun going back and reading this. It was entertaining, so I had fun with it. I really want to end my video with their sirens going off in the background. That wouldn't be cute. That was my experience reading Twilight 10 years later. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe for more book-related videos. Like this video if you liked it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!